My friends, I'm sitting out at this amazing redwood tree, and I wanted to talk to you a bit about the energies of 2024. Now, they're very strong, they're very potent, and in February we go into the year of the wood dragon, and this is really exciting. Now, as a 13 sign astrologer and numerologist and life purpose activator, I have been spending a lot of time tuning into what does it mean for this year to be a year 8? What does that mean? How might we feel that in our bodies? What information is going to assist us to become the most successful with the energetics of this year? So I'm thinking about 8 and how if you turn it on its side, it is the infinity symbol, right? And the energy goes like this. And it's powerful, right? Because if you were to just have one circle, the energy just goes like that, right? The energy stays contained, just one focus. Now, when you add in a second loop, the energy now goes down and then up and then down and then up, and it crosses. And so that creates a fulcrum or a vortex point. So I decided to go on a bike ride and to tune into how bike riding might be a really good analogy for 2024. Now, you have 2 wheels, typically. Sometimes you have 1 or 3 or however many. And you get on that bike and you start pedaling. Okay, so that's the number one analogy about 2024. Because it's an 8, it's all about action. It's about the balance between receptivity and being, and then taking the information and putting it into action. Whereas last year, as a 7 year, which was ruled by Neptune, a planet of spirituality, was really about going within and sort of tapping into our internal guidance system and rejuvenating and just being more internal. This year invites us to take what we gain spiritually and intuitively from that introspection. That's one circle. And now get on that bicycle and start putting that information into use. And so the universe, God, creation, the oneness, is inviting us all to become more active. It's a little bit like last year we were busy daydreaming. We were in the movie of review of our lives. And this year, someone knocked on our door and said, "Shh, look over there. There is a classroom. The door is open, and on the table is all of this clay." Now, 8 to me is a very earthy, it's a very interesting number because I feel that it combines both the earthy practicality of real life physical manifestation with the super high vibe focus of our spiritual connection to God. And so 8 is about success and mastery. 8 is the number of infinity. It's the highest. It's also the soul star in our energy chakra system. And so we have the 7 chakras, and the 8th chakra is called the soul star. And so there's really a really large focus this year on the dichotomy of physical manifestation, creation, and grounding with our spiritual intuition, awareness, and focus. And so what does this mean? Well, imagine you get on the bicycle. One wheel will work, right? But you're always going to have 2 pedals. And so one pedal, it's kind of like we're being asked to keep 2 things moving simultaneous this year. And my guides are saying, last year we had an opportunity to practice the one way. We got really good at practicing one thing. And that this year we're being asked to now incorporate, a little bit like if we're baking a cake and we have flour in the bowl, to incorporate in some sugar, some coconut sugar, eggs, some organic free-range eggs, and organic raw cream to make a delicious cake. Okay, so this year the Spirit Source, our guides, are inviting us to incorporate in more ingredients. And in fact, they're saying, maybe that cake you're making was in your mind, your heart, your imagination. It was coming through. Last year was an opportunity to take time to really listen And this year it's about going into the bakery, into the studio, and taking your ingredients and your ideas and visions that came through and starting to mix them up, starting to incorporate them into this year, into the energy of this year. And so I think a lot of us are still kind of waking up because last year was such a huge spiritual deep dive into our deepest self, into some of the deepest layers of our emotional triggering, the roots of past traumas. We had 8 planets retrograde from about July until basically January 1st. And so all of the planets went direct except for Uranus, which I'll get into that in another video, which is all about change, which, yeah, a lot of things are changing this year as well. And so here we are. We've had all these ingredients, all these ideas. Let's say our ingredients are like all the ideas and awarenesses that we received last year. Yeah? And they've been on a shelf waiting. And then now we open the door to 2024. And it's like the door to our studio, the door to our kitchen, the door to our bakery, our office, whatever it is, that realm where you love to create. I love to create in the kitchen, love to make food, I love to paint. So what are the ingredients that you use to create what it is that you create? I love my camera so I can record video and content. Maybe I'll even build an actual studio, like an outdoor studio this year, right? So what is it in your life? What are the physical level materials that you utilize in your craft? Now, let's say you haven't been doing a craft. Let's say you've been working a job. And maybe you haven't been happy with it. And that's where a little bit of the rub and the friction is going to come in this year. Because my guides and all of the awareness I've had has said, Lotus, this year, if you are not on track with your purpose, if you are not in alignment with what it is you're here to do on this planet, you will get a serious butt kicking, okay? Whoa, and was like, oh, should I go get a job? Should I, what should I do this year? How do I support and sustain myself and stay connected to source? And the guides are saying, you gotta face the fear and take action on what you're being guided to do. What is that? Are you a natural guide? Are you an empath? Are you a healer? If you're watching my video, chances are you probably are. Are you into astrology? Have you always thought, I'd really love to do readings? Is there something in you spiritually that's been kicking around over the last year that you just feeling this push? Are you a musician? Are you an artist? Are you here to create? I'm hearing that because 8 is so much about success and mastery, it's related to the soul star chakra. And it's 8, it was just 8:11 on my clock there. Where are you being called forwards into your mastery, right? Where are you ready to grow? Like this gigantic tree, it's so tall. This year is about our growth. It's a growth zone year. So we're being pushed, okay? We're kind of groggy. We're kind of still waking up from last year. Was like, oh, I need to sleep for another year because there was so much energetic shifting that happened. Well, good news, because the 8 year is all about balance, right? Because the infinity spiral is not just one circle or one point, it's 2. And so what are those 2 places and spaces that when we tune into them are going to allow us to have the flow, okay? And so what has come through is that 1 is the yin, intuition, presence, being, connection to our highest self that we receive through being quiet, right? Through going out into nature, through connecting to our own inner state, our own inner vibration, right? Our own inner guidance, our soul star chakra, okay? And 2, and that's kind of the new level this year, is our yang, masculine activation alignment accelerator. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the force of our desire propelling us into physical world action. Okay, so this 8-year is a huge teaching and a reminder of what does it take to create, right? You need 2 things to make a baby. You need a man and a woman, or typically that's how it's done, right? There's all kinds of different combinations now out in this many-faceted world, but it takes typically 2 things, sperm and egg, to create a baby. Or like with a plant, right? You need the pollen and you need it to be pollinated, right? Very simple. So this year, I often see the 8 as the collaboration and coming together of our divine feminine receptivity, our intuition, the divine mother, the womb space, the infinite knowing space within us, with our divine masculine force of action, material manifestation. And so this year is about deeply rooting and connecting to our inner voice, listening from the heart, taking time out when you feel the tug, when you feel the pull, to really tune into yourself, taking that time to pause. But it's not just a circle of pause, kind of like last year was. Now, take that pause, and then what are you going to do to act on it? And so this year is going to be, if you would like to once you get into the flow of the infinity spiral and you're on it, it's a little bit like getting onto a roller coaster ride, right? Like once you're in that seat and it's moving, you're going, right? You're in flow state. And so this year is about figuring out for you, how do you get into that flow state? What are the ingredients, the physical world tools that allow you to tap into your divine feminine and create the foundation and the structure and the manifestation to bring it to earth? So it's like tapping in up here, getting the inspiration from that soul star chakra, allowing it to come through the heart space, through the body, bring it into form. So it's really important this year, I'm hearing, physical activity, yoga, tai chi, qigong. We're going to see an explosion of people getting involved in the physical art of energy cultivation, balancing, and healing. And why is that? Because to bring the unseen, spiritual, etheric quintessence, we can also call it, right, that amazing ether, to bring what is etheric into the material, which is what this year is about, requires movement, right? It doesn't just come here and then it's there. It moves through. It flows through. Just like when you're on a bicycle, those wheels are not going to move unless you start pedaling. You gotta pedal the bicycle. So this year is going to require effort, energy, persistence, going for it. And at the same time, because it's the infinity spiral, when you're on the swing that is reflective, you need to take a step back and you need to get into center and you need to listen. And so there's a really big call to be very, very adaptable this year with the energy. That's going to be very changeable. And so as you're going through the day, really listening and tuning in, okay, what do I need right now? Do I need internal rejuvenation? Do I need to fill my cup? Do I need to listen? Or do I need to act? And they're 2 very different energies. And so this year, the momentum that's building for us to allow us to really get deep into that flow is to listen. Okay, now I need to let go, and now I need to act. So it's a marriage. This year is a divine marriage between our feminine and our masculine, our action and our intuition. And it's beautiful. I think there's going to be a lot of divine unions coming together this year between the masculine and the feminine. I think there's going to be a lot of activation, a lot of change to get us deeply connected to our true soul purpose and why we are here and what it is we want to create, okay? And so if you're feeling the push or the pull, that is just your soul pushing you to grow, because as we create that which we are guided to do and create from God, from source, from spirit, the abundance is going to flow like you would not believe. Okay, so this year is a year of abundance. Pop the champagne if you choose to align to your heart's truth and take action, courageous action. But it's not just act without a purpose, it's action with divine force and guidance. Wait, pause, listen, action. So with that, I will close, and I just want to thank you all for being subscribers on my YouTube channel. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all your comments. I love to hear how you're all feeling with this New Year energy, what's been happening for you. We did have solar flare, like an X-class solar flare on New Year's Eve, and this year is expected to have tons of solar flare activity. So if that's happening, it may cause tiredness, it may cause you to feel a little out of sorts, and if so, that's just another energy activation assisting you to grow and get even more connected to you and into your flow. So take it in stride. This year is a lot of like down and up and down and up, and it's a cycle, right? We're following the infinity pattern. I highly recommend you go out on a bike ride and you do some infinity spirals to tap in to what it takes to stay in the flow this year. It's a dance, right? I really recommend dance and music to help us get out of our own way so we can create what we're being guided to, because this is the year to start building that foundation truly, deeply for you and what it is you're here for, what it is you're here to create. So I just wanted to let you know, everyone, I'm getting really excited. I'm continuing to learn amazing 13 sign astrology information, and I am doing a huge sale for January to ring in the new year for one-on-one astrology readings, 13 sign astrology readings. So if you want to get really clear on what your life purpose is, what you're here for, what this year might look like for you, I'm doing a huge sale, like over half off, because I really want to assist as many people as possible with this amazing star map guidance that I've been blessed to have. And I have new information all about something called the North Star in our astrology chart, which has just been profound for me for getting in touch with my own North Star. And I just really want to share that with all of you. So if you would like to book a reading with me, great prices right now till February, then we'll see what happens. And I just send you so much love, so much light, so much gratitude. This is going to be an amazing year. Don't worry, I will bring in more information about the dragon, but trust me, it's all about creation. It's all about listening to the inner self and soaring, flying high, and all obstacles being released this year to your path, to your purpose, to your prosperity, to the golden, beautiful, shining light that is your true self and your true spirit. So sending you so much love from the beautiful forest. I love you, I love you, I love you. Aloha.